Hello, Pronghorn fans and family. Good to see you today. Thanks for joining us as we catch up with Pronghorn women's rugby player Abby Duguid and what she's been doing during COVID. Thanks for joining us, Abby.
Hi, nice to see you.
Just kind of walk us through the process of, you went through some pretty tough times for you personally last year with getting hurt early and then, getting your season back as a medical redshirt and then COVID hits and, talk about the process that you went through leading to where you are now.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough senior year, but training with the girls and being with the girls all season, finally getting that call back and being told, Neil called me. He's like, "You got it. We got your year back. You can come back and play." And then he also, in that phone call, told me that the likelihood season would be canceled was very high. So, although disappointing, um, doing all the training and knowing that we were doing all this work, I still have goals and aspirations with Horns and with Team Canada. I'd love to play in a World Cup one day. And with the one coming up in 2021, that is still a big goal. But after a few conversations with Neil, we talked about my impact and my role in the team. And as much as I want to be back there, I need to keep pushing for my goals. And so I reached out to Loughborough Lightning in the UK. They have other Canadians here. And I said, like, I want to come over and play. And they found a spot for me. So I made a late decision, like I usually do. And I decided to hop on a flight. And now I'm living in the UK and I've been playing over here, been here since October. So it's been really good, but a big challenge for sure.
Okay, so tell us exactly where you are in England for people that aren't
So
familiar.
so I'm in Loughborough. So that is about 2 hours, say like northwest of London. I'm trying to associate myself. We're in lockdown here, so I don't get out much, but it's fine. Yeah, so I'm over in Loughborough.
Okay, and obviously there's I think three other Canadians that were with you there to start, and I think one of your teammates, older sister, just left, and talk
Mhm.
about having some familiar faces from Canada West and from Canada, and how that helped in your transition.
Yeah, for sure. There's three Canada West athletes. Dalika Menon is alumni. She was the Dino, and Courtney Holcamp, who plays for the Pandas. And then yes, we have Jada. We're lucky. um, and it was a nice transition because I was pretty nervous to move to a new country and start playing for a team and having those athletes here who I know and who are really big stars within our own program and within the Canada West. It was nice to come over and have them as support, and it made the transition a lot easier.
Okay, so now that you're back in a familiar setting and on the pitch,
Mhm.
what's the level like there?
It is incredible. The level of world class athletes here is outstanding. Like my team alone, let alone the other teams, but there are girls who play for England, for Scotland, Ireland. We have someone from New Zealand. Like we have world class athletes from all over the world training to be the best they are. And from practice, the gym to our psych sessions we have, our meetings, everything is very high level and very committed. But it's also very welcoming and a very like friendly environment. I was nervous to come in and know that I was playing with some of the best athletes in the world, but to come in and meet them and know that they all strive for the same goal and we're all in this team together made that transition so much smoother and very nice.
No, that's great. Maybe talk about how your time with Pronghorn Athletics has helped you prepare to take a step up in level of play.
Yeah, coming off that last season prior to my injury, I was where I wanted to be. Our team was becoming successful. We were known for so long as that young team full of young players, and our third, fourth, fifth years were coming to that peak of our playing together, especially after being together for 3 years. So to have that mentality and that same energy at Horns, you come in, everyone has that same goal and the same aspirations. You're pushing each other to be better. To take that energy to a new team was really an easy switch for me. And like I'm still connected with the girls at home. I still see their messages. I know they're doing online workouts together, which seem really fun and they're pushing through even though it's online. And to have that same kind of environment somewhere else just makes it an easy role for me to be in.
And how long are you going to remain in England, do you think?
The plan is to stay until the end of our season, which should be the end of April, May. We're in a transition right now with the Women's Six Nations being postponed. We just got a new schedule this week. We hopefully will be playing on the 6th. We're getting lateral testing weekly now, so things have changed a bit here, but I hope to be back for the summer. If there's rugby in Canada, I'll be training all summer, and then I'd love to come back for that final season in the fall. I have one season left and I want to play it. So the plan is to come home, and then once I'm done and graduated the Horns, I would love to come back to England.
Okay, so now, looking a little bit into the future, you've got a little bit of school left to finish your ed degree. You've got that season, hopefully we get next fall with Canada West and U Sports. Maybe talk a little bit about how you feel this is maybe preparing you a little bit more for, making that step to the national team. You've had, you've played with the U20 program, you've had caps with the senior team. You mentioned your goal is to play in the World Cup, and 2021 is still a hopeful event. And obviously being as young as you are, there's still time down the line for other trips with the senior team. Just talk about how this has helped you in that step to that next goal.
I would say that transition is just a better understanding of what I need and what I want. Making a transition from a university team to this professional side, there is a little bit more pressure and more expectation. There are people here who this is your full-time job. As women's players, we don't have that luxury as often, but they're women training full-time, and I'm still doing my classes. So my ideal being here is that I'm committed to this. It's like a job. Everything we're doing is for that benefit, to be on that team in October in 2021. But it definitely has been a challenge. I think coming over here, I was anticipating it being a difficult mental and physical hurdle to get over, but I didn't expect the drastic role change. So coming over and being a sub, being an impact player, and having to change my role has, I think, changed my view on the game a little bit, on how I can become a better player and how I can analyze those things, because that transitions to my time in Canada as well. I am a young player. I'm trying to break that bubble. I'm almost there. So it's just a different perspective, and I think it's really helped me understand my goals and really have smaller, more accountability with my goals, unless we got to get there, which is always the end goal, but it gives me something to work for in small increments. So it's helped a lot.
Okay, one final question. What would be the biggest challenge you faced since you ended up over in England?
My biggest challenge, I honestly, it might sound really insignificant, but having to play in that first game after being injured, I got a little bit of sevens in post injury, but to play a 15s game, it was 14 months back from my injury. I was, I think, the most nervous I've ever been in my life. You can ask any of the girls on the team. We had a game and we were playing a lower level team. We had done quite well previously against them, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be a good game for us to try some new things out." And I really girls were looking forward to it. I was going to puke during warm up. I was so nervous, and it was so mental for me. But getting past that, of knowing getting past that injury, finally getting here and finally getting to where I wanted to be in that spot of okay, as soon as the whistle goes, I get to play again. I get to do what I've been trying to do for over a year. So it was challenging, because the weeks leading up to that, I did the isolation, I did all the testing and coming in and trying to break that roster to get on the field. But oh my gosh, I was so nervous. But we're better now. We're okay now.
Oh, that's great. I just want to thank you for joining us today, and we definitely look forward to seeing you in blue and gold again, hopefully next fall. Thank you, Abby.